Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are learning three abstinences, right? Three types of viratī. So we have been learning the beautiful mental factor, right? So we have a 25 beautiful mental factor. So among them we just finished a 90, the universal beautiful factor. So now we will go to three abstinences. So these are mental factors, so that abstain from wrongdoings only when occasion arises. So that means there is a chance to commit wrongdoings. So by that time, you decided to abstain from it. So in those moments, right? So that means when we are doing other good deed, so viratī is not present according to Abhidhamma, right? So when we are doing dana, so when we are meditating, so it doesn't mean that we are not refraining. Only occasions. Suppose you are going to tell lie to other people, then suddenly you realize that telling lie is not good, then you refrain from it. So by that time, it's called viratī, right? Viratī. Sorry. Cannot move. Just stand, stay here. They're too loud. So when you, so as I said that that is in your mind, so you want to commit wrongdoings, right? You want to do it, but suddenly you realize that the wrongdoing is not good. Then you refrain from it, right? So that is at the time it's called viratī, abstinence. So we can equate them with the Sīla. So we have two types of Sīla, Sīla, avoidance Sīla, right? So we can equate viratī with the avoidance Sīla, Sīla. So we have two types of Sīla, avoidance and practice. Another one we can say do's and don'ts, right? So these are two aspects of Sīla. So mundane viratī or abstinences are equal to Sīla, avoidance, right? So avoiding unwholesome actions such as killing, stealing, so etc. are called avoidance Sīla. So normally we keep 5 precepts, right? Killing and telling lies. So all these are negative things, right? So we're trying to abstain from them. So that is called Sīla, avoidance Sīla. So here, viratī is equal to avoidance Sīla, right? So refraining from unwholesome actions or unwholesome deed. Practicing wholesome actions such as fulfilling your duties is called practice sīla, charita sīla. So as a parent, so you have to fulfill your responsibilities to your children, right? As a children, you have a responsibility to fulfill, to do for your parents. So that is called another type of sīla, charita sīla, right? Thing that you have to practice. So out of these two types of sīla, the viratī that we are going to learn is equal to avoidance sīla, right? Avoidance sīla, thing that we have to refrain from. So if we compare with the sīla and viratī, sīla is wider, right? Sīla has two aspects, do's and don'ts. So viratī has only don'ts, right? So here, when we talk about sīla in previous chapter, then I mentioned this one. So sīla basically means a moral conduct that control our body and speech. Because of two reasons. Number one, in order not to do any evil deeds. Then second reason, to do good deeds, right? So that is the basic meaning of the sīla. So we can call it do's and don'ts, right? So these do's and don'ts are two aspects of sīla. So basically, we can easily remember that sīla here means controlling our speech and action, right? The body and speech, only two, is a sīla. Meditation is controlling our mind, right? Controlling our mind. So therefore here, if we compare sīla and viratī, viratī is only one aspect. So that is don't, right? So we don't do killing, we don't do stealing, right? That is the abstinences. So we have three abstinences. So viratī abstain from committing evil deeds by way of speech and action, and also from committing such acts by reason of livelihood. So three types of abstinence. Number one, Sammāvāca, right speech. Sammākammata, right action. Sammāājīva, right livelihood. Is it in order like this? Start with the Sammāvāca, right? Sorry? Speech. Sometimes I miss. But in my note, I start with the Sammākammata. With the speech, right? With the speech. Actually, of course, it is better to start with the speech. So there are three factors in the Noble Eightfold Path. So in the Noble Eightfold Path, we have a right speech, right action, right livelihood, right? Then after, Sammaditthi. So we have a right view. So based on right view, we have a right intention, right? Right thought. So only we have a right thought, and we will have a right speech, right? And right action, and right livelihood. It's called like that. So therefore, these three abstinences are three factors in the Noble Eightfold Path, right? In the Noble Eightfold Path. In the Noble Eightfold Path, we call it is a sīla, right? The aggregate or the sīla, the group of sīla. So we have a three bodily action. Sorry that I start with this one. Actually, it should start with the right speech, right? We have a three bodily actions. Actually, as a Buddhist, I mean, you have been learning a lot, right? Many times. So we have a three bodily actions. Killing. So we don't need to learn too many, right? Killing. Actually, in the Pali Canon, if the Buddha is playing Panatipada, killing, that doesn't mean only killing. It also harming, or harming and harming also is considered as a included here, right? Number 2, stealing, adena dana. Number 3, sexual misconduct. So as you know, if you refrain from these 3 bodily actions, that will be viratī, right? Abstinences. So these 3 bodily actions are generally occurring through the door of the body. So when we talk about killing, it is caused because of our body, right? We do it with our body. Stealing also, we do it with our body. Sexual misconduct also, we do it with our body. So we are talking about in general, right? Talking about in general is very important one. So therefore, in Abhidhamma, it is considered as a Cakkapala, right? Sorry, in the Suttas, it is explained as a Cakkapala. So thing that we do with our body, right? With our body. According to commentary, so these actions can also be done by speech. And we can kill with our mouth, right? We can order, right? By ordering, kill that person. So such type of killing is considered bhava action, right? But even though you are using your speech, it is also considered as a bodily actions, right? That's very important one. Actually, of course, you can say so. This is bhava actions. Actually, this is bhava action, right? But the Buddha is talking grouping in general, right? So these 3 type of wrongdoings are done with our body generally, right? So therefore, even though we are using our speech, then it is considered as a bodily actions. And stealing also, sometimes we steal with our mouth, right? Then we order to steal something. But even though you do with the speech, it's considered as a bodily actions. So refraining from these 3 bodily actions is called Sammākammata, right action. Sammākammata, right action. So right action is one of the abstinences, right? One of the abstinences, viratī. So when you refrain from killing, it is wholesome deed, right? It is wholesome deed. In opposite way, right? 4 bhava actions, Vacīkamma, telling lie, slandering, hard speech, frivolous talk, sampapalapa. So these 4 are called bhava actions because it occurs through the door of the speech. So we are generally talking, right? Sometimes telling lie also we do with our body, right? So when you do something, you did something wrong, right? When somebody asks, did you do that? Then you nod your head like this, right? You do it with also you tell lie, right? With your body as well. But even though you're using your body, it is considered as a bhava actions. Bhava actions. And slandering, right? Slandering, actually you tarnish the reputation of the people, right? Sometimes you do with your body as well. So even though you do it with the body, then it's considered as a bhava actions, right? And hard speech, you use your body language, right? You use your body language to mention, very strong actions. Then somebody see it and became upset, right? Even though you use your body, it's considered as a variations. And frivolous talk, right? Nonsense talk. So these are 4 variations. These are wrongdoings. So according to commentaries, even though they are done with the body, so with all these actions, and they are considered as a variations, right? Actually, the Buddha is talking in general, right? Refraining from those 4 variations is called Sammāvāca, right speech. So if you refrain from telling lie, so that means there is a chance to tell lie to your body. Sorry, maybe touch here. So there is a chance to tell lie in your office, or in front of your parents, or in front of your children, right? But you remember that telling lie is not good, then you refrain from it. Only those times, right? Only those times the viratī arises. And slandering, right? You want to slander, so you trying to divide the people, right? The intention of dividing people, dividing the group, and dividing association, or dividing the nation, right? It happens around the world. It happens among us, right? So if you are using slandering with that attention, so that is called viratī, right? Viratī. And harsh speech, right? Harsh speech. So unpleasant to others, right? Unpleasant to others. So even though another one is a frivolous talk, nonsense talk, right? Fruitless talk. So all these are called 4 variations. So if we refrain from those unwholesome variations, so that is called Sammāvāca. Sammāvāca, right speech. Right speech. Now we have 2 abstinences, right? 2 abstinences. Actually, I don't want to elaborate 3 bodily actions, right? I think you all know that. So if you want to know further, you can come Monday. I will elaborate because now I think don't want to repeat. Right? I think you already know all these ones. I think no need to. But I want to mention regarding with the 4 variations, right? So in Cakkapala Sutta, the Buddha taught to the monks, so we have 5 causes of speech. 5 causes of speech. So in that sutta, one of the monks is very association with the bhikkhunis very closely. So when the monks talk about those bhikkhuni, he doesn't like it. And the bhikkhuni also, so when the monks talk about that monk, bhikkhuni do not like. So the monks told that monk is not right as a monk. So that monk does not listen to them. So therefore they bring to the Buddha. Actually, the Buddha said that the Buddha gave a very striking simile. Even though the people are using 200 swords, you are killing, how to say that, piercing your body. If there is hatred arising in your mind, and the Buddha said that you are not following his teachings. The people are, using 200 swords. They are piercing your body. You are dividing your body. So if there is hatred in your mind to them, you are not listening. You are not following the teachings of the Buddha. Actually, it's really, really hard, of course. So in that sutta, the Buddha talk 5 causes of speech. So we can say that there are 5 criteria of wrong speech, or 5 criteria of good speech, right speech, right? Number 1, timely or untimely. Sometimes, so we are talking something timely, when the time is correct, right? So when you are talking something, even a serious one, in a wrong time, right? It's not a right speech, even though the speech is good, right? The intention is good, but if you are talking wrong time, it's not considered as a right speech. Timing is very important, right? You have to know the time. Number 1 criteria, right? If you are using the speech wrong time, that is a wrong speech. If you are using speech in the right time, that will be right speech, right? That's number 1, a very important one. Number 2, truth or untruth. Actually, this is the opposite of telling lie, right? So if you tell lie, it's untruth, right? Telling lie is a wrong speech. Telling the truth is a right speech. Especially who are working in a shop, right? As a shop owner, as a estate agent, you may argue that, sometimes we have to tell lie, right? So if they do not tell lie, then the business will fall down. Actually, I don't think so. If you maintain the truth, the truthworthiness, right? If you are always telling the truth, then of course people will have a trust in you, right? I think that is very important one. But even though you are walking with your verbal, speech, if you are telling lie, if you are not honest all the time, people will not believe you, right? There will be no trust in you. Some business fall down, right? But in the long run, the truth and honesty will be walking, right? Will be walking. Of course, as a ordinary people who have a lobha dosa moha, right? That we still use, telling lie, right? Telling lie, because telling lie causes because of lobha dosa moha, right? But if we control our lobha dosa moha, then we are not telling lie, right? Even though you have a, life threatening, right? You will not use telling lie. But of course, as a ordinary people, sometimes, right? If it have been very often, not good. Sometimes it's still okay, right? Actually, here the criteria must be truth. Number 3, must be gentle. So when you talk, must be gentle. Sometimes it is truth, but it's not gentle. Some people are very rude, right? Straightforward. Huh? People they think that they themselves think they're straightforward. It's not like that. One of the criteria is must be gentle, right? Must be gentle. It is the opposite of hard speech, right? Hard speech. So if what you're talking is very harsh, unpleasant, that is the wrong speech, right? Even though it is truth, unpleasant to others. So when you are talking, must be gentle, right? Must be gentle. And number 4, connect with the well-beings. Well-being of yourself and well-being of others, right? must be beneficial for yourself and for others. Sometimes we're talking, it's nothing to do with our well-being or yourself. It destroys well-being or yourself and well-being or others, right? That's also very important one. And with the harm, so if you're talking, sometimes it harms your well-being. It harms well-being of other people, right? So you have to avoid it. And number 5, spoken with the mind of loving kindness. Spoken with the mind of loving kindness. Or with the inner hate. It is the opposite of inner hate is equal to slandering, right? Because you have inner hate, so you have intention to divide people, to divide two groups. So therefore, with the inner hate, so you use slandering, right? So instead of using slandering, so you speak with the full of loving kindness, right? Spoken with the mind of loving kindness. So you want the well-being, welfare of those people, right? Then you spoke. Even though you hate sometimes, you may hate the person, but we have to treat them with the mind of loving kindness, right? So these are 5 causes of speech. Sometimes you may use positively or negatively. So I think if we combine, number 1 must be timely. When you talk about, you have to judge whether it is a good time or a bad time, right? So when you are approached to your boss, right? If you approach in the wrong time, get into trouble, even though it is very serious one, right? Very beneficial one. If you talk to him in the wrong time, useless, right? Useless. The second one must be truth. Of course, must be, if you talk 100% truth, right? Much better. Otherwise, at least more than 50%. More than 50%, right? Then third one, gentle must be gentle, right? It's not harsh speech. And number 4, connected with the well-being of yourself and all others, right? And number 5, spoken with the mind of loving kindness. So these are a good 5 criteria of a good speech, right? A good speech. I think it is good to take note, to apply in our daily life, right? So you have to look at whether your word has a, you're talking with these criteria, right? Criteria, okay.
In our normal daily life, sometimes the truth is not nice. It's not pleasant. So should one not say anything and say no comment? Or should one tell the truth?
Okay, very good question. I will come to that. Next slide, I will come to that. Very good question. Actually, people very often ask this question, right? So we have 6 types of speeches. Actually, what you ask is one of them. So we have 6 types of speeches. Number 1. So actually, in this sutta, Majjhima Nikaya, Abhaya Raja Kumara. Abhaya Raja Kumara. Actually, he was the son of King Bimbisara and follower of the Mahavira, the founder of Jainism. The Mahavira suggested the Prince Abhaya and to go and have a debate with the Buddha and teaching the way how to do. The way how to do. And he said that he let the prince ask the question to the Buddha, as you did. The Buddha, you always speak pleasant. You always use pleasant speech. If the Buddha say yes, tell him that you are telling lie, because you use a very harsh speech to Devadatta. The Buddha used harsh speeches. unpleasant speech to the Devadatta, right? Telling him, go for nothing, like this, right? So, useless man, misguided man, like this. So, if the Buddha tell you that he always use pleasant speeches, that means he is telling lie. He taught to Devadatta using harsh speeches, right? Unpleasant to him. But if the Buddha talk, he used unpleasant speeches. So that means he is not a real Buddha. Right? He is not a real Buddha. He is not a nice person, right? Nice person. Then of course the Prince Abhidhamma went to the Buddha. By that time there are a lot of people and very crowded. So there's no chance for him to debate with the Buddha. But instead of debating, then he invited the Buddha and together with the 4 monks. The next day the Buddha came and for the lunch, the Prince Abhidhamma, of course he, he served lunch to the Buddha with the respect. But at the time, as you know, in the Buddha, at the time of the Buddha, actually they have a very too much tolerance. So after lunch, so the Prince Abhidhamma and all the people sit down to listen to the Dhamma. So by that time, a baby, the Prince Abhidhamma listened to the Dhamma, keeping a small baby on his lap, on his type, right? Type. Then he asked the same question, whether the Buddha's speech, whether the Buddha only use pleasant speeches, or sometimes you use unpleasant speeches. Then the Buddha didn't give the answer right away. So in this case, the Buddha said, in this case, I will have to ask a counter question. So the Buddha said that in case, suppose a young baby on your type, a young baby swallow a stick, how will you do? Then the Prince Abhidhamma said that I will take it out. But if you take out, the blood will come out. The baby will be screaming in pain, right? He will have a lot of pain if you take out. The Prince Abhidhamma said that if I do not take out, even if I do not take out, then the baby will die. But even if he is suffering for his own benefit, then I have to take out. Just like that, the Buddha said, just like that, sometimes I need to use, even though it is not pleasant to hear for the listener, sometimes he have to use it. If it is the truth and beneficial. 2 criteria. If it is a truth and beneficial, right? And you have to use unpleasant word. Unpleasant to the listener, right? So actually in this Sutta, it's a very beautiful one, Majjhima Nikāya, Sutta number 58, right? So then the Buddha talk about 6 types of speeches. Among the 6, the Buddha said that the Tathagata utters only 2 types of speech out of 6, right? 2 types of speech out of 6. And number 3 and number 6, right? Let's look at this one. Number 1, it is not truth. The Buddha is not talking, right? It's not truth and beneficial and unpleasant, right? So actually, number 1 is the worst, right? It's very bad. And truth, unbeneficial and unpleasant. And disagreeable to others, right? Number 2, the Buddha do not speak, right? The Buddha do not speak. Number 2, it is truth but beneficial and unpleasant to others, to the listeners. Even though it is truth, if it is not beneficial, it's not pleasant to the listener, we have to refrain from, right? We have to refrain from it. So second type of speech also the Buddha doesn't talk. Number 3, it is truth, beneficial, but unpleasant to the listeners. Sometimes, even though it is not welcome, it's not unpleasant, it's not pleasant to the listener, we have to use it, right? The Buddha also used it. So when the Buddha taught to Devadatta, and the monk, as I said in previous sutta, so the Buddha used very strong word, misguided man, moga purisa. Moga purisa. So actually it is truth and beneficial to other monks, right? By using strong word to Devadatta, it benefit to other monks, right? The other monk know that, wow, the Buddha is talking, so that this must be very serious bad thing, right? So it benefit to the other monks. So it is truth and beneficial for Bodhisasana, right? Beneficial for Bodhisasana, Bhikkhu Sangha. But it's unpleasant to others. So even though such a one, the Buddha said, the Tathagata knows the time to use such speech. Timing is very important. Timing is the most important criterion. So therefore, in our 5 causes of speech, the first one, right? Timing is very important. So we have to know the timing. So even though such type of speech, the Buddha know the time when he should use such a word, right? Such one. So number 3, the Buddha used such one, if necessary, if it is truth and beneficial, right? I hope you got the answer, right? Sometimes, of course, if you are a leader, if you are one of the person who is responsible in the society or in the family, you have to speak out, right?
I just wonder the way how you deliberate. Say, for example, like what's the speak for you and colleagues like that. Would she look at the report and come back to me by tomorrow? I know it will come back. So what I was thinking that I can just if I said she will come back tomorrow, I'm lying to you. I can use that. Or the other way, I can say that if she doesn't come back on time, she will find it somewhere else. It won't be good. So at least he knows what to do. Then I know what to plan my time. Otherwise, he'll be waiting and waiting and waiting. So I was wondering, such a simple speech like this.
Actually, sorry, I can't get what you mean.
Okay. Because this
Your boss?
report needs to be delivered on Monday.
Monday, okay.
So Friday, she's saying that I need to pass to this lady to take a look. Will she come back to me by Monday? Because this boss is new.
Okay.
So I said from past experience,
Mm.
we'll receive it on Monday.
It won't be finished.
It won't be finished.
Oh, okay.
So that's a truly old speech. Well, if I were to say be nice, I can just say, yes, you can wait for her, but I think I'm lying, she won't come back, no. So I'm not sure how do you deliver a message like that, such a simple speech. Because you're saying that she won't deliver, saying something not nice. But it was a fact. It will not be back. So, but it's beneficial to him to know the timing. Monday cannot have it or not. Otherwise, I will have something got to do. So, I can just say that yes, if you think she'll give on Monday, I'm right. It's a reverse way of talking. That's okay. Or the other way is saying that I don't think by Monday it should be quite possible. So, that's because of the speech. I was thinking how best we should deliver in such a way it's pleasant and yet it's cute.
Sometimes, of course, it's very difficult. Sometimes very difficult. So sometimes if you use Therefore, we call it white line, right? White line. Actually, I also think that but in this 6 type of speed, there is no white line. So people normally ask whether we should use white line, right?
Bhante, for white lines in the 5 precepts, is it we are breaking the precept or it is right or wrong? Because white lines is always happening most of the time.
Of course, yes, of course, yes.
So are we breaking the precepts?
If we use white line, then are we breaking the precept? What do you think? Okay. Wait. I think here I need two criteria. Intention, right? Intention must be good. The second one is the timing. So as we said, that timing is very important. The patient is not ready to hear, to accept her situation, and just waiting. And by that time you meet that, we have to use the white line. It's not breaking there. What do you think?
Seeing line, whatever the last lecture did, it should be wholesome.
Line?
No, whatever you do, it has to be wholesome.
Wholesome, okay.
White line is still a wholesome line. It's not.
White line is a wholesome line. I mean, both of you, according to you two, I think white line is not breaking the precept. Anyway, okay, Actually, I don't need to answer. Okay, question.
So you never say like I'm dying in 1 month or 6 months or whatever time it is. You never disclose the actual
Timing.
So it's not white line in word.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's never lie.
Okay. We have to use our wisdom.
Correct.
Okay. Question.
Buddha also preached a lot about ethical issue. So for this case, we may think that it's beneficial to that person not telling. For example, if he asks and you tell the white line, please directly ask him.
Yeah.
And we say no, and we think it's beneficial to this person. But is it really true beneficial to him? Because he may have a lot of unfinished business to get done.
Yeah.
So sometimes we cannot conclude what is best for the person. That person will
I think we can answer with what the lady said. 2 criteria: intention, right, and also timing. So we have to first we must have a good intention. Then we have to know the timing, right? So in 2 cases. Okay, I will discuss. Otherwise, cannot finish, right? Actually, this is white line is very popular topic to discuss, right? Normally, when I talk about white line, I share 2 stories. So number 1, Kisa Gautami. So as you know, she is a skinny and ugly one. So as a result of his past karma, he got married with a rich man. The family member do not like her. Then later she gave birth a lovely boy. So because of that lovely boy, then the family member start to acknowledge. then actually the young boy is her life, right? So later, that young boy died. Actually, she feel hopeless. She feel hopeless. She doesn't accept that one. Then carrying that dead body or a young baby, then he is asking people whether you have a medicine to cure her son. And one houses after another, she was asking people whether there are any medicine to cure her baby disease. Actually, she knows that her son died, but she could not believe it, right? Actually, her son is her life. Then she met a wise man. So he said that, I don't have a medicine to cure your disease or your boy, but I can tell a daughter who is living in Jetavana monasteries. Just go there and you might get medicine. And of course she approached and she go to the Jetavana monastery. So by that time the Buddha was preaching. So she go there and met with the Buddha and asked for medicine. Actually, if the Buddha say, I don't have a medicine, hopeless, right? But if the Buddha say, I have a medicine, that means Buddha is telling lie. No medicine for the death, right? But the Buddha didn't say anything. We have to take note this one. The Buddha didn't say anything whether he has medicine for the death or not. Without saying, and he told the lady Kisagodami, if you can get a mustard seed, so I think that mustard seed is very common in India. If you can get a mustard seed, I might cure your baby. Then she was very happy. Of course, mustard seed can get anywhere. Very easy to get. And the Buddha said that. But the mustard seed must be the house where nobody died. Of course, actually she doesn't know the intention of the Buddha, and she bring her dead baby and go one house after another, asking for mustard seed. And people say that, yes, sir, we have a mustard seed here. But she asks, is there anyone who died in your family? People say that, yes, 2 years ago my father died. 1 year ago my children died, right? Then she go another house and she said that she got a mustard seed, but when she asked, is there anyone who died in the family, in your family? So everyone said that father died, the parents died, the wife died, husband died. So suddenly she realized that death is a natural one. Nobody can escape. So with that understanding, she threw away her death. Not throw away, of course. She put it the dead body of her boy in the cemetery, and straight away she go to monastery and ask for ordination as a bhikkhuni. So she became a bhikkhuni. Then later she became arahant, right? So in this story, so we can do you think that is it the Buddha tell lie? The Buddha use white lie? But if we carefully read the line from commentary, we can see that it is telling lie. Oh, sorry, the white lie, right? It look like white lie, but actually it's not. It's not. It look like white lie. Here, the way the Buddha present, right? And also waiting for timing and intention, right? We can study. So another story is, you all know that Venerable Angulimala, right? He was killing people to get nine fingers, 12 fingers. So now he has 999 fingers. He need only one. So he decided, is there anyone who can approach to him? And he will kill and get the finger, right? Get the right finger. So by that time, his mother came, right? And he went to kill his mother and ran after her. But she ran away. So by that time, the Buddha came in, right? The Buddha came in, and of course, without following to his mother, and he ran after the Buddha. Actually, the Buddha is not running. The Buddha is going in the normal pace, right? Normal pace. But even though Angulimala ran very quickly, he cannot catch up with the Buddha, right? The Buddha used a psychic power in a way that even though he is walking in normal pace, Angulimala cannot run, cannot catch, right? Then Angulimala said that the monks, do not run. Do not run. Stop. Stop. So the Buddha said, I am stopped, but you are running. By that time, Angulimala talking, he was standing. Stop running. Then the Buddha used, I already stopped. You are still running. And Angulimala said that the samana, ascetic, you shouldn't tell lie. You shouldn't tell lie. You're running. You're running. But you said you stop. But even though I'm in stopping, you said I'm in running. You're telling lie. The monk should not tell lie. And the Buddha said that. That the Buddha, I think by that time, when the Buddha taught like that time, though, he realized that there must be a reason why he said like this. And he asked the Buddha, why you said this one? And the Buddha said, I have given up all the killing to do unwholesome things. So therefore I stop wandering in samsara. But now you are still accumulating, killing people, right? You are still running in samsara. Then he realized, became enlightened. He realized that he is doing unwholesome deed, right? So in this way, he were ran in the samsara, go in the samsara. So by that understanding, so he gave up all his weapons and he became disciples of the Buddha, right? So later, he practiced the Dhamma, he became Arahant. So in this story, the Buddha used, I already stopped, right? But you are running. But when we look at in his surface level, the Buddha, it looks like the Buddha is telling white lie, right? It's not the Buddha using the Buddha in his mind. So he in his mind thinking that he stopped in samsara by not doing unwholesome deed, right? Any type of unwholesome deed. But even though Angulimala stopped, but still running in samsara, right? But what Angulimala understand is the current situation, right? But the Buddha do not use current situation in terms of samsara, right? Wandering in samsara. So in this case also, the Buddha carefully used the term, right? The term. So and then it looked like a white lie, right? Actually, it's not. We can say it's a skillful speech, right? Skillful speech. So here, regarding with the white lie, So when we look at 5 causes of speech, right? It's not truth. It's not truth. Suppose normally sometimes we have to use untruth speeches, right? So, but the listener like it. It is also beneficial. It's also beneficial. But we can use this one. But according to, of course, if we look at from the intention point of view, right? Intention point of view. So we have a right intention, right? Right intention. So anyway, if you are using white line all the time, many times, it will harm your life. People will not believe you, right? So even though, so you are telling white line, and you can sense, right? That you can understand she is telling a lie, right? Of course, when we use a white line, number 1 must be a good intention, right? Number 2 must be a good timing. So I think in this way, I think it will be beneficial. Okay. No word silent. Sorry. Sorry. Drain. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Watch out. Actually, here you don't have a. But karma not only action and speech, but also the mind. But in your mind, you have an action, because no compassion. But according to what you say, you have a way in your mind to fall down in the drain. Right? No a way, right? Oh. Not real ubeka, fake ubeka. So you have an intention, he might know it. A very, very tricky one, I think that actually we have only black and white, I think. Here, black and white. Whether you have compassion toward that person or whether you don't have. Actually here, if we have a way in our mind, not a way, the thought of harming. The thought of harming in our mind, then you will do not ignore. If you have the thought of harming to that person, you were indifferent, right? Indifferent. I think there's only compassion or the thought of harming, I think. Okay. Mm.
I learned this word blameless actually in the Mangala Sutta. It really is a catch-all. It covers like many things, you see. So blameless action could come under that. So in this case, maybe to me, it's a bit of bad karma because you know that he could fall, but you did nothing about it. So it's not. So it's quite. It's not blameless, and it also shows a little bit of lack of compassion. And also want to get a bit back at him. Yeah. So it's not blameless.
Okay, now I'll give it time. Okay.
But then we feel the remorse lah, because it's a good deed undone.
After that, he will have a remorse. But if he stay indifferent, no remorse.
He falls down, then it's remorse.
Not like this. I think that here we have to understand in this way, from 1 to 100%, right? But you have indifferent toward that person, whatever happened to him, right? But even that state of mind, I think that still have the thought of harming. The thought of harming. Maybe it is, even though it is not 100%, it might be 20%, 30% like this. At least 10% like that. So I think in one sutta, the Buddha said that if you have, even though I practice compassion, but I still have the thought of harming, a little bit of the thought of harming. But the Buddha said, no way, no way. If you have compassion, you don't have a slight degree of the thought of harming. Right? That means if you don't have compassion, slight degree of the thought of harming, even though we do not notice, right? Okay. Here, so we have to know the definition of who are foolish people and who are the wise people according to Buddhism. So I think association means first of all we must know that the foolish, in one of the sutta in Majjhima Nikaya, we have a Bala Panita Sutta. Bala means foolish people, right? Panita means the wise people. So in that sutta, the Buddha said that people who are doing killing, stealing, sexual misconduct in body, they are foolish people. Even though you are president, even though you are prime minister, you're stealing and killing, you're foolish people, right? Then using 4 unwholesome speeches, right? And also we have 3 types of mental actions. Mental actions. So if we have those 10 types of unwholesome things, right? Foolish. If you don't have it, the wise. Actually, the Buddhist standpoint to decide whether who is foolish and the wise, very clear. Here, association means in Pali, asivana. Asivana means keep on association, keep on going, keep on talking. That is association, right? Asivana means just like a development. In meditation we use development, right? We're trying to develop compassion. That's meditation. So here also, you're trying to develop, you are dealing with them, right? Dealing with them. But if you are doing business, right? If you are doing business, so actually you are not associating. It is doing just business. So association here means you follow it down to say that even though you know that they do unwholesome actions, you're trying to mimic, or you're trying to follow the same he do. That is association, right? That is association. No, doing business is not association. Sorry? Yeah, very good, very good. Why not? Somebody who is telling lie, then you told him or her not to tell lie. That's not association. That's not association. Association here means developing the same character as he has. I think if you understand in this sense, association means, therefore, people always say that if your boy is not good, still have to do in that company, right? As long as you are not copying a bad character from him, right? Even though you're staying with him, it's not association, right? It's not association. Yeah.
So that means whatever that we see, we must show passion and we can write it, we try to write it. So being indifferent is not, is actually not indifferent.
As I said, there is only black and white, right? Black and white. Suppose if you have a 100% compassion, right? There's no chance for the thought of harming. But if you have 100% of the thought of harming, no compassion at all, right? So I think the good deed and bad deed cannot come together. Only one after another, right? Right now you have a good thought. That one mind moment only arise, only one mind moment, right? Two mind moments cannot arise together. So therefore, when we talk about suppose mindfulness and anger, right? Mindfulness and anger. Feel angry, right? A lot of anger. Then replace anger with the mindfulness. Anger, mindfulness. Anger, mindfulness. But later you keep on developing mindfulness. Mindfulness, anger. Mindfulness, anger. Later, no anger at all. Mindfulness. Yeah. So I think that there's only black and white, right? There's only black and white. So if you have compassion, so there is no the thought of harming, right? The same like this. So only one mind moment can arise one time. Of course, after compassion, you may have the thought of harming, right? So I think in this way, I think you can understand, right? You can understand. Okay. A lot. I think we cannot finish. Today I thought that I can finish the four divine. I think even this one, I don't know whether we can finish. Anyway, I think finishing is not very important. Because you are not taking exam. But of course, like this one we can go in detail. But for some lessons, which is very difficult to apply in our daily life, we can try to go in a rush way, right? In a rush way. Okay. Sorry, right? You, Matt?
He will reply you and tell you all things that are supposed to think and not look back doing all the things that are going to do. So instead of being appreciative of what you want them, they are not so appreciative. You have compassion for your child.
Oh yeah. Not appreciating your what, right? Okay, it's a good question. Then I think when we learn compassion, I think I should have covered this one, right? Actually here, we have four mental states together: loving kindness, compassion, altruistic joy, equanimity, right? So here, equanimity is the most important part. So without control or equanimity, actually, compassion may lead to wrong direction. If you don't have equanimity, upekkha, your left lead to other wrong direction, right? So in this case, so your son does not appreciate, right? But you have to control your mind, not to feel angry, right? If you have anger in your mind, not real compassion. Yeah, I mean that is it happens everybody in every parents, not only you. So here, of course, parents love their children, right? But you can tell them to do or not to do something, right? But you have to be compassion and loving kindness, right? But if the response is a thing that you do not like, right? Then we have to equanimous or balance our mind with the equanimity. If we have anger arises and disappointment arises and irritation arises in our mind, your compassion and loving kindness is not real one, right? That means mother love is always genuine. Okay. If actually, of course, according to Buddhism, if your love and compassion is genuine, no anger at all, no ill will at all. But irritation in your mind or disappointment in your mind is the characteristics of ill will or anger. If you have a disappointment in your mind, not real love, right? I mean, according to Buddhism, right? And then we will learn in detail later, right? We will learn later. Maybe next week, right? Okay, here, the Buddha said 6 types of speech, right? Number 1, untruth, unbeneficial, unpleasant. The Buddha does not speak. Number 2 is truth, but unbeneficial and unpleasant. And this one also the Buddha do not use it. And number 3 is truth and beneficial, but not pleasant to the listeners. But sometimes, knowing the time, right? Knowing the time. The Buddha know the time to use such one. Just like using very hard speeches to Devadatta, right? Devadatta. So regarding with one, as you know, Devadatta trying to create schism in the Sangha, right? And he taught to the Buddha, the Buddha, you are getting old. Hand over the community of Sangha to me, and you retire. The Buddha used very strong word. Devadatta, you are swallowing a saliva somebody have throw away. Swallowing the saliva that somebody has a spit, right? Spit. Actually, Devadatta, he doesn't like, of course, it's very, very strong word, right? And actually, he keep on practicing, keep on creating skills in the Sangha. Then the Buddha taught to Venerable Sariputta. Sariputta and go the Rajagaha and taught to the people that Devadatta is behaving different way. Devadatta is not the member of the Sangha right now. then of course Venerable Sariputta said to the Buddha, the Buddha, a few times ago, I taught to the people of Vacīkamma. Devadatta is very intelligent and wise. But if I tell right now differently, people might think that I am telling lie. But the Buddha said that, Sariputta, so when you praise Devadatta, by that time, Devadatta is like that. But right now he changed. You're not telling lying. Then Venerable Sariputta go to Rajaka and declare that Devadatta is behaving in a different way, right? Different way. It is truth, beneficial for the Sangha as well as the devotees, right? If the Buddha do not declare, so by that time, the king Ajata said to support Devadatta. They are very, very powerful. If the Buddha do not declare and let the people know, the people will have a misunderstanding, right? So therefore, the Buddha have to use a Vinaya rule. We call it I forgot in Pali. Declare the truth, right? Declare the truth. So here, it is truth and beneficial, but it's not pleasant to Devadatta and his disciples, right? His followers. So sometimes we have to use like this one. So there are many cases, right? Many cases. Then number 4 is untruth, unbeneficial, but pleasant to others, right? Pleasant to others. So this one is not truth and beneficial, but pleasant to others. We very often use it, right? Actually, when we joke, right? When we tell the joke, right? It's not the truth one. Also unbeneficial, right? Unbeneficial, but pleasant to hear, right? Pleasant to hear. Actually, I always share the story, about my friend. Actually, my friend, we're very close friend. So he often tell the joke, which is not the true one. So actually, at that time, I do not know that it is unbeneficial. Of course, it's unbeneficial. But I like it. We like it. We enjoy his joke. Right? Of course, by that time, I want to listen. But right now, even if I go back to the monasteries, he still talking the same one. For me, I don't like such a joke because it's not truth and beneficial, right? But now, unpleasant to me. Unpleasant to me. So I think for that reason, I have a very close relationship with him. Actually, we are stay close, but I do not have trust in him. No trust, because he often tell lie, right? Often tell lie. So actually, it's not good for him as well. Number 5. Okay. Very good. Next time I will tell him. I will remind. Yeah. No, actually, it's not nothing to do with the word. Telling joke. Okay.
But is it the right way of doing? Because some people will actually avoid Buddhists. They say, "Oh, you want to come correct us with Facebook." Because you embrace, you know what is right and what is wrong. So
Okay, next time when I meet, I will remind. Number 5, truth but unbeneficial, pleasant to others. Here, the Buddha emphasized beneficial, right? Benefit, whether it's beneficial or not, right? So when you look at all the 6 types of speech, only 2 types of speech is beneficial, right? But here, unbeneficial is truth and pleasant to others. So the Buddha also do not use it. Number 6, truth, beneficial, and pleasant to others. Actually, this is, of course, this is the best speech. The best speech. Even the best speech, we have to know the time. So actually, if you use even the best speech in the wrong time, it's not a good one, right? It's not a good one. I think by studying this sutta, we can understand that sometimes we have to use the speeches that are not unpleasant, that are not pleasant to the listener, right? The listener may not like, your children may not like, your parents may not like, right? But it is truth, beneficial. Sometimes we have to use it, right? Sometimes we have to use it. But you have to know the time, right? You have to know the time. So when you are talking to your parents, do not tell your parents in front of the people, right? If you're talking in front of the people, your parents is embarrassed, right? They will not listen to you, right? Time and hear me if your parents and you, right? In a secret place, right? You can tell your parents, right? The timing is very important. So even though you're talking true, beneficial, and pleasant to others, right? The Buddha knows the timing, right? So therefore, sometimes the Buddha wait a good timing, right? A good timing. So then only quickly is enlightened, right? Any question? Okay. Refraining from 3 bodily actions and 4 verbal actions connected with your job is called right livelihood, Sammāājīva. Now we have a 3, right? 3 abstinence. So if you refrain from 3 bodily actions, that is a Sammākammata, right? Right action. So when we refrain from 4 unwholesome speeches, then it will be right speech, right? Right speech. But here, in your job, in your profession, in your livelihood, so you refrain from 3 unwholesome bodily actions and 4 unwholesome verbal actions. So that will be right livelihood. Actually, Abhidhamma interpretation of right livelihood is very beautiful, right? Actually, when you look at the suttas, I don't know, up to now, then actually the sutta talk about many wrong livelihood, many things, especially when you look at Brahmajala Sutta, the first sutta of Digha Nikaya. So you will know that the Buddha talk about wrong livelihood for monks, right? As a monks, we have to refrain from those wrong livelihood, just like astrology. Also the medicine, how to say that, curing the people with the medicine, giving the medicine to the people. Actually, not only killing, not only stealing, but also astrology. If I read your pen, or next year you will be a rich man. That is wrong livelihood for monks. So we don't have to do that, right? Also, giving medicine to the people, and also giving the flower from the temple. You cannot tear the pipe, so those flowers are very beautiful, you can take. Cannot. It's also wrong, one of the wrong livelihood, right? As a monk. It's very strict. So there is the reason why the Buddha laid down those rules and regulations, right? So what I want to say is, in the Sutta, the Buddha talk about many wrong livelihoods for monks and for lay devotees, right? So here I will give you only some example, right? Some example. But if we summarize, if we analyze all the wrong livelihood, so all the wrong livelihood based on 3 unwholesome bodily actions. So suppose you give something to the lay devotee, right? The lay devotee, thinking that he or she will give you something, right? Based on greed, right? Based on greed. When you tear the pipe, the flower very beautiful, then take away. Huh? You take home, right? But we might have wrong intention in our mind. By allowing them to pluck the flower from the temple, and she might like me, right? She or he will like me. And she will think that I'm a very good nature monk. So like this, behind, right? So we have a wrong reason, right? Killing in your job, right? So your boss told you, kill that person. Then if you do not kill, right, you will be fired from the company. Then you kill that person because of lobha, right? Or because of, sometimes because of dosa, right? It may happen. So here, I think the way Abhidhamma defines is very beautiful. So if we, in our job, if we do killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, right? And telling lies, slandering, harsh speech, and frivolous nonsense talk in our job, that is wrong livelihood, right? Actually, telling lie, right? In your job, if you tell lie to your boss, if you tell lie to your colleagues, right? That is a wrong livelihood, very clear. Slandering. So you want to divide the people in the company so that you can benefit from it. Then you slander, right? Then people are divided and you have benefited a lot, right? And also harsh speeches. You threaten your friend, right? The newcomer. You threaten the newcomer, right? It is harsh speech, right? By threatening, and you can hand over your duty to them. It's a wrong livelihood, right? And also you are spending time, killing time in the company, talking nonsense, right? And using Facebook and talking on the phone, killing the time in the company, right? That's also wrong livelihood. So in your job, in your profession, you have to refrain from 3 unwholesome bodily actions and 4 unwholesome verbal actions. So in this way, then only you will have a right livelihood. That will be abstinences, right? 3 types of abstinences. So regarding with the right livelihood in the Noble Eightfold Path, so the Sutta defined in this way. Here, a noble disciple having abandoned a wrong mode of livelihood earns his living by a right livelihood. Very short, very short. Not specific, right? Here, wrong mode of livelihood means using unwholesome actions and unwholesome speech, right? We can define in this way. So actually, as a lay devotees, as a normal lay devotees. So the Buddha talk, normally when we talk about wrong livelihood, we quoted this sutta, trading. In the Vinaya Vanaja Sutta in Gotra Nikaya, the Buddha we often quote to show the example of wrong means of livelihood, right? We have 5 types of trading. Number 1, and in that sutta the Buddha said, bhikkhus, a lay follower should not engage in these 5 traits, right? In these 5 traits. What 5? Number 1, trading in weapons. No trading in weapons, right? So here, weapon means trading. I think you all know, right? It's not good. As a lay devotee, the Buddha said we should not. Very important one, right? The Buddha have given the suggestion. We should not be engaging trading weapons as a Buddhist, right? If you do so, you are involving killing one way or another, right? Number 2, trading in living beings. Example, human trafficking, right? We shouldn't engage. If you engage human trafficking, you accumulate a lot of good deed, right? A lot of bad deed. Number 3, trading in meat. Trading in meat means selling meat. Even selling meat, I think. Of course, if you kill, right, the meat, one way or another you are involving. If you look at this sutta, that means you can eating vegetarian. It's much better, right? But of course, buying from a shop may not have a serious issues, right? But if you sell the meat, that means you are involving killing, right? Because you are selling the meat. The butcher, they are killing the enemies, right? And number 4, trading in intoxicants, just like a drugs, right? Number 5, trading in poisons. Trading in poisons. So actually, of course, here also intention is very important, right? Sometimes in medicine, we have to use poison, right? Poisons. But sometimes your intention is the selling poison make a lot of profit. And whether they are using for suicide or for their harming, they will still sell it, right? So as a Bodhi, you should not trade in weapons, right? Okay.
Education. Medicine
Oh yeah. Oh, you mean in the medicine there are certain amount of alcohols. I think if you are using as a medicine, not an issue. But of course, sometimes you drink wine, right? As a medicine. But if you indulge in it, you are breaking the Vinaya rules. But of course, in the some food, there's some alcohol, or there are some intoxicants, right? Then you enjoy, you indulge in it because of that drug or alcohol. That's breaking the Vinaya rules, right? So you are using the food or something that contains alcohol because to cure your body disease, doesn't matter, right? So therefore, we have to look at intention, right? Intention, Sammākammata, right? Sammākammata. Then we have 3 types of viratī. Then after 3 types of viratī, and we will close the class, right? Yeah. Sorry? Alcohol. Of course, I think it's a type of selling, right? Type of selling. If, as a Buddhist, you should not. That means the Buddha. No, I mean the Buddha do not tell. The Buddha do not tell. You must not. Here, should not. Right? Of course, if you do not have a job, you still can do that. But at the same time, trying to come out from that position. Sorry? Of course, yes. Okay. Oh yeah. Of course, here I think trading in living being. Here, Satta, right? Satta. Of course, selling animals as a pet, I think it will not be here. I think. But here, therefore, I give example: human trafficking. If you are agent, right? Even the agent who is the providing the monastic helper or the maid, it's not the trading in human being. That means human trafficking. You make use of it. You exploit, right? If you exploit, here and then exploitation. I think consider. No, I mean the trading living being, right? Being, sorry. Sometimes people catch a bird, right, and keep it in the cage, Then they sell it, right? It's not right attitude, right? It's not right attitude. So they are harming the animals, right? Harming those beings. I think we can put it in this way. Exploiting, right? I think the good user is exploiting. So therefore, I give example of human trafficking, right? Human trafficking. Okay, we'll just finish this one. We'll finish. The three types of viratī and commentary mention. Number one, sampatta viratī, abstinence when occasion arise. When occasion arise. So here, as you do not keep precept, then there is a time that you want to tell lie, and you have to tell lie, right? Then you know that telling lie is not good. Then you refrain from it, right? That is a abstinence when occasion arise. Number two, samadhana viratī, abstinence by keeping precept. So today you keep 5 precepts. Then you think that, oh, I have keep precept. I do not tell lie, right? I do not kill any insect, right? Then because of precept. And number 3, sammoccheda viratī, total eradication of mental defilements. Total abstinence of doing wrongdoings, right? Because you have already eradicated mental defilements, right? Mental defilements. So arahant do not do any wrongdoings, because totally they remove all the defilements in their mind. Even though their life is threatened, they will not do, right? Because they don't have attachment to their life, right? Sometimes we are afraid to die, right? Afraid to die because of our life. Then we tell lies, right? We tell lies because we are full of defilements in our mind. Okay, so time is up. We have an announcement. Chamili. If you want to know about do's and don'ts, or the precept, or the morality, then you can come Monday.
Okay, advertisement time. Okay, there's a talk this coming Monday by Bhante Cakkapala, 2 aspects of morality, the do's and don'ts. And I have a book here called The Path to Happiness by Types of Sīla. It's a free distribution. You can get it when you leave from the back. Inside there's about the key to happiness, loving kindness meditation, the simile of the vipers, introduction to the 5 aggregates, and contemplation of the mind. So if you like to have a copy, collect it before you leave. Okay? Yo vada tam pavaro manu Jesu Sakyamuni Bhagavakata Gecho Paragato Bala Viriya Samangi Tam Sugatam Saranatam Upemi Ragavi Ragamane Jamasokam Dhammama Sangatama Patikulam Madhurami Mampakunam Suvibatam Dhammami Mam Saranatam Upemi Yatacha Dinama Palamahu Chatusu Suci Supurisa Yogesu Atacha Pugala Dhammadasate Sangami Mam Saranatamu Pemi. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Bhante.
Okay, you can.